A chance to please Allah, a chance to gain reward, I will spend on you, he said.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Now, before we went to the break, we briefly touched upon those people who can't pray in the sense of they can no longer kneel down and prostrate. And well, obviously, we as Muslims know that there's not really anything quite like the feeling of when you're in prostration. It's an amazing experience. I remember me as a Muslim, when I was very interested in becoming a Muslim, I went with some school friends, and that was something that really kind of had an effect on me, was that whole motion of going down with everybody and being on the floor in complete submission to Allah. So some people can't do that, and some people, they have knee issues, problems with their knees, and they end up saying, I just can't pray, I have to just pray in a chair. So we have with us brother Nader Sabry. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Jazakallah khair for coming on. Now you have which you're gonna, obviously I won't give it away quite yet. You have some kind of product that can help people who have issues kneeling down. They have maybe had some, I don't know, rheumatism, arthritis, maybe some knee operation, some kind of. So what is this product?
Sure. Our product is it's the world's first physiological prayer mat, and it helps people with three basic things. It helps relieve pain, improve posture support, and boost energy. And the way it does that is we spent 5 years in research and development working with an ex-NASA scientist who's on our R&D team, and we
Hang on a
basically
second.
sure.
Ex-NASA.
Yes, we have an ex-NASA scientist.
This is interesting because you're wondering, everyone's thinking, what's NASA got to do with prayer mats? So this is an interesting point.
Well, there's two basic space technologies that we use that are used in astronaut suits originally, and we're the 43rd company actually ever in history to be certified officially by NASA as a space technology company. So the two types of space technology we use is, one is the high performance materials, which were used in astronaut suits originally to deal with pressure, heat transfer, and G-force. The second one is an antimicrobial technology that was used to actually protect astronauts from fungus, bacteria, dust, and other microbes. Today we use that in the fabric there to also prevent from respiratory health problems that may exist, and we're also applying our technology to some private mosques today who want to antimicrobial their carpets to keep people hygienically safe or healthy as they pray.
And obviously we can see on the TV here. Maybe you can explain to us what we're seeing here and what the viewers are seeing.
Sure. Well, the product is made of 5 layers. The magic happens in the middle. The top of the very, very top is what we call the microfiber top. That's where the antimicrobial technology is. The layer underneath that is a weight absorption layer, which actually absorbs your weight. The middle layer is a weight transfer grid that actually works between the two, sets a ratio between the layer just beneath it, which is called a weight bearing. So the weight bearing and the weight absorption layers do the exact opposite. One will hug you and the other will push against you. When the two combined with the middle weight transfer layer, it prevents from pressure, relieves pressure, improves your posture, and by doing that, it improves the blood flow in the body and gives you a boost of energy. And finally, at the very bottom, we have an anti-slip. The product will not actually move. Believe it or not, there are several people who have injuries because they are on slippery surfaces. It could be on marble and ceramics, and with normal fabric mats, you just step on it and you can slip. So the whole thing stays in one place, doesn't move.
So, I mean, it's, you know, we hear many, there's always many sales pictures and many marketing campaigns on products. But have you had, I mean, mashallah, from what I've heard, this is taken off really well. I mean, you've had coverage on Sky News, Huffington Post, probably, I believe even newspapers like The Independent in the UK, which they've actually picked up on the product themselves and mentioned it as a very unique product. But what kind of feedback have you had from, because there may be some watching this now, and you know, the ultimate goal behind us showing this is, from our aspect on our show, is to hopefully put back into someone who can no longer feel that feeling of prostration. Hopefully now somebody may be able to buy this product and get that feeling back. So have you had testimonials that have come back to you, where where people really couldn't kneel down and now they can?
Well, subhanAllah, I mean, one of the most amazing things about what we do is when we get our customers that call up and make dua for us. We've helped change people's lives. People who've had car accidents, people who've had sports injuries, people who have had unusual diseases we've actually never heard of, things like arthritis, diabetes, people who have some physiological or some issue preventing them from touching the ground and getting into full prostration. And the stories that we get when people call up and make dua for us about how we've helped them change their lives, especially with older people, giving them hope, giving the idea that I can touch the ground, that I can reconnect with God, and this technology that was used in space can now help me do that in the comfort of my own bedroom or living room. We've helped quite a few people.
I have a question.
Sure.
Just jump in it.
I want to ask one question. I believe you mentioned this, but I just want you to refresh my memory. This is maybe the viewers can see this. This says certified space technology, and this is what you mentioned, I believe.
Yes.
This is what I believe you mentioned, that how many companies you say are in the world only have this certified space technology?
We're the 43rd company ever in all of NASA's NASA's history of 60 years of technology transfer to the private sector. They've done about 50,000 technology transfers throughout all of the history of NASA, and we're one of the lucky few organizations that have been recognized by them through their transfer technology program to have successfully implemented space technology in a greater and universal usage. One of NASA's objectives is to embetter human mankind and improve the world. And they look at us as one of these organizations that they can look at and help others aspire to helping improve the world by bringing technology to helping people pray better.
Well, Brother Jibril, obviously, who happens to be passing by, he'll be here full time next week, my other host.
I think it's the first time we're together.
For a long time, yeah. That was the original show. I dare say that was the good old days, and I think that was a much better show. But alhamdulillah. But so you have a question for Brother Nader.
Yeah, actually, I
hope it's not about you're both Canadian. I hope you're not talking about Tim Hortons or anything.
That's for after the show.
After the show.
Yeah. There seems to be a technical issue with Jibril's mic. Maybe you can. I don't know if they can hear him, but maybe if you can.
Sign language.
Maybe you can quickly. If it's not a long question, you can tell me and I can tell him. So.
Basically, I was going to ask how much does it, in terms of time in making one of these, how long does it take to make one, and what's the price of one of these?
So yeah, the time it involves in making a product like this, and what kind of price would the consumer have to pay, and if it is expensive, why should they pay that much? Isn't that a bit overpriced if it is overpriced?
Yeah,
it seems overpriced. Should I say?
Our R&D process to develop this literally took 5 years, and we do something what's called Muslim physiology, which we looked at the physiology of the Muslim body, which is different than those who pray and those who do not pray, and we made profound discoveries, and that's how we actually developed this. So through that process, we didn't just implement the development of this product, but we also implemented a Muslim physiology workshop, which we work with our customers and other people to educate them about how to overcome some of the common physiological issues that we all face and helping improve our spirituality. So things like 52% of Muslims we found suffer from knee problems, not because of prayer, but because of the lifestyle problems around us that impact us when we try to pray. So we sit down, we talk about these things, and we give them scientifically proven activities that we've done with our medical team on how to overcome some of these issues. Today our product, we sell in 35 countries around the world. Our global standard price is about $300 US, depending on which market you're in, but that's the sort of average global price for the product. Yeah, it's really important to remember that this is a technology product. It's not a normal mat like you've got in front of you here. You've got the your traditional mat, which is like the 99% of what people have. The sponge mat that somebody would buy and believe that they can use that and it would actually help them, and then you've got your medical mat. We've also got a really interesting feature. If you notice there's a QR code, and if you use your mobile anywhere in the world when you scan the mat, you can get prayer time. So anywhere you go in the world, we make sure you can get your prayer time using the mat.
And you scan where on the mat?
Right there on the tag there's a QR code. You just put your put your mobile.
I mean, I know you gave me one of those way back. So there was even my one from about a couple of years back also has that barcode.
All of them have it. Yes.
I think the brother was going to say the whole.
It was like I can't remember your
analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the carrier pigeon, and then you have the Graham Bell's phone, and then your prayer mat is like the iPhone. No free marketing. Only he gets the free marketing. It's like a smartphone. But yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I personally have had one of those. I mean, I recently, not necessarily a knee injury, so maybe it's not relevant, but I had and I still somewhat have a hip injury, but I never thought of it, unfortunately, because generally speaking, I don't need to use it on a daily basis. But I remember when you gave it to me, I did actually use it, and it was very comfortable, and I believe either I don't have the mat anymore, or possibly maybe my wife might have given it to my mother-in-law, because I remember my mother-in-law tried it, being elderly, and she felt a real comfort in doing it. You know, that she's generally okay, but that the generally pain you get in your knees in old age,
Yep.
she felt a big difference. So I can, you know, testify in the sense of it is really, really, even for an average person, really nice and soft. And of course, somebody may ask, but you know, if there's this kind of gel and absorbent, is there any Sharia aspect? And you've had various Sharia councils, haven't you? I think in Bahrain and
Yes.
other places that have covered it from the Sharia aspects, the fiqh aspects, that even if you're slightly absorbing, it has no issue on your prayer. You're not sinking, your head's not going lower than your body and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We went through an extensive consultation with several experts around the world on this particular matter. But what's interesting that you pointed out is that a large part of our customers are actually mothers, and mothers are a big part of what we do. And how this product really ends up is usually a son or daughter will end up buying it for the mother, who then will adapt the product across the family. And it's quite amazing when we see how the mother, daughter, or son relationship actually evolves and the dynamics over something like this. When you know that your mother is making dua for you, praying for you, because you've made it easier for her. And subhanAllah, the stories that we hear from our customers is just, it's mind-blowing, mind-blowing.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. This brings in mind the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whoever comes with bid'ah hasanah, whoever comes with a good innovation, because some people believe we've got good innovation in the ibadah.
deen, yes.
No, what the Prophet Muhammad meant, like whoever comes with something good in order to facilitate.
Like the loudspeaker in the mosque for the adhan.
Oh, you know the mushaf, the Quran for the blind people.
Yeah,
That's a bid'ah hasana. And this, when you brought that in, that's bid'ah hasana. And the people who are benefiting that facility, and the one who initiated that, or innovated that, then he get the reward as well. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put all these enemies and hasanat.
Just by having the right intention, you know, ultimately this is for Allah. And then, like you said, when all those people, imagine, you know, how many of you sold generally?
Well, we've sold thousands. I mean, internally, our KPI is a company called the Hasanatometer, and we measure our performance on the basis of hasanat, not on how much we've actually sold. And this is how we get everybody in our supply chain aligned with our values. And this is how we work with our partners. And
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, you can think, and it's not just that. I mean, you have a guy, obviously, you know, this obviously, as we know, it relates on the intention, but you know, we'll judge that everyone has the pure intention. So you have your graphic designer who's doing some design. You have maybe you have someone who just designed the box. I mean, this is the box here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll try and hold it in a way that. So you have this simple box. So you have a guy now who's designed this box, showing some images, and every time someone prays, he gets a reward. You could have a guy who says, you know, I've designed this style of handle. Something that's what a lot of people don't realize in many things, you know, like when there's an Islamic event, you have a guy who stands there as a security guard. He's a volunteer. You have a volunteer who goes and cleans the toilets. And what people, you know, tend to forget is that person who volunteered with the right intention for the cause, he's mopping a toilet floor, but he's getting the reward of all those people who've listened to the lecturer, maybe have become Muslim, maybe have started to pray again or become better Muslims, and that just goes on maybe until he and they die, just because, and he was just mopping the toilets, but his intention was, I want to keep this place clean because this is an Islamic event to please Allah.
Exactly.
So imagine, you know, it's a very good product at the same time.
Even the tiniest things do, like we have a lot of non-Muslims that work with us too, alhamdulillah, and we explain them the concept and they latch onto it quite quickly. And surprisingly, we have a lot of non-Muslims who buy our product around the world. One of the most surprising stories was in our early days, we got a customer in the Ukraine, and we follow up with all our customers, and we had a conversation with him. We knew he wasn't Muslim, but he took it to his church because they pray as well on their knees, and they had no solution for their knees. And he told me, he's like, I didn't know you guys can do something like that. And I thought he meant us as a company. I said, we're an innovation. He said, no, I mean, you Muslims, you haven't really been innovating. I said, well, things are turning around.
Actually, I want to interject and say something, because interestingly enough, the khutbah tomorrow is about innovation and invention. That's the topic. So I was like, I mean, it seems... You
have a good example now. At the same time, you get some more free marketing.
Exactly.
×5. It's a good innovation.
No, it is. I mean, the thing is that really when we look right now in the Muslim world and we look at our history, we're still living in the past, right? A lot of us still say, you know, oh, back in the days we used to do this. Back in the days the Muslim Ummah used to do this. In Andalus, you know, in Spain, we used to do this. We used to be at the forefront of innovation and discoveries and medical, you know, you have the almanac and so many things, right? But these days, it's, you know, let's say we're taking a back seat, we can say, right? But I think the things are changing around. I think we can come back and have that Sharia aspect, right? Because a lot of times, okay, the Muslims are doing things, but there's nothing really Islamic involved. Yes, they're building or they're developing, but not in line with the concept of the Sharia. But something like this, right? I mean, it's such an inspiration.
I'm sure you're probably one of the, if not the only Muslim company who is a certified space technology. So that itself, you're pioneering in that sense, and you're up there with the people in that sense. Now we've probably got a couple of minutes left. They were just showing the video as we were talking, and it had a fellow Canadian, Dr. Shabir Ali,
Yes.
and obviously we couldn't hear, but he was saying something. Is he also somebody who's used your product?
Yes, he uses our product. He's a big promoter of the idea again about innovation and how innovation can be used to help progress us overall in our lifestyles. One of the things that we did in collaboration with NASA is we started something called gettospace.com, which is, and we say it's designed to help 2 billion people, to inspire them to go to space. And we use facts about space and contribution of Muslims to space, which are actually quite significant and surprising in many cases. And we use that to promote people, remind them of the past, but also let them know that in context today, you can still be an innovator. And we want to inspire Muslims to innovate and bring great things to Muslim consumers at all levels.
Well, you know, we've got a couple of minutes left, but obviously anyone who's interested in buying this product, they can go to Times with a Z, TIMEZ5.com.
Correct. Yeah.
And they can get the product from there. And I mean, in the last minute or so, is there anything else coming from TIMEZ5? Any other new products? Any changes? Any ideas that you guys
other
have
than the
coming
prayer
up?
mat, like a topia or something like that?
Well,
An anti-migraine hat?
Yeah, well, we're working on a lot of really interesting things. I mean, we have some really breakthrough things that will come very soon that are still related to physiology and Muslim lifestyle. One of our next steps is that we're going to be working with a lot of private mosques to do the antimicrobial inside the mosque to help protect against respiratory problems. So a lot of private mosque owners have expressed a great interest in it. We're working with them today. That's one of our next projects, to get the antimicrobial out there and protect people, keep them healthy. So
Because you have some people, you know, some people might say, but what's the problem? But there are many people, especially in modern day, with the lifestyle, with the environment, that are getting allergies and asthma all the time. And sometimes, whether, you know, carpets, no matter how clean they are, they pick up dust particles. The average person, no problem. But for the 1 in every 100 people, they get an asthma attack, they get allergy, they get blocked up, they have a sore throat. So that is a big difference to many people. It's not something that's just, you know.
Yeah. My father-in-law is one of those people. He actually has full-blown asthma because he's been using sponge mats for a while. And when I explained to him that the dust mites actually grow and come through the fabric and you're breathing that every time you go down, then he was like, I didn't know that. And we educate people about that. And that doesn't mean like get scared. No, it's about, you know, keeping it clean. Keep it clean. You know, just because it's there and you putting it away and putting it back doesn't mean it's always clean. You have to, you know.
Okay, so well, we've mashallah come to the end of the show. It was a very nice, you know, end of the show, because, like we mentioned, that whole aspect of the sujood is very connected to khushu' and very connected to getting the most and that real spiritual feeling out of your prayer. So maybe, inshallah, this kind of product will, which is ultimately the goal of yourself and of us in mentioning it, is that they will be able to return, inshallah, back to make, you know, to prostrating. So jazakallah khair for coming on the show. And to Brother Jibril for passing by.
It's always a pleasure to be with you.
And of course, Brother Ayad for the nice topic. So inshallah. Oh yes, before we go, on the screen here, what's this? I mean, this should be getting some kind of award from Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, where we are right now.
Yeah.
Let's get that in for the last minute or so. Let's go over a minute.
Sure, yeah.
No, that's quite an achievement. So.
In 2013, we were recognized as an global innovation company in Islamic economy. So as Sheikh Mohammed is positioning Dubai as the capital of Islamic economy, he tries to find and identify companies like us that are innovative companies who are trying to transform the Islamic economy. So we're very fortunate. 2013, he recognized us as one of the top companies in the world.
So that, I mean, that, again, that's another achievement. You've got NASA, you've got Sheikh Mohammed, and winning this award. So, mashallah, it's well, it's been mashallah great. I mean, I'm sure we could have had a lot more time, but it's really relevant to this topic, so I really wanted to bring you into it. And who knows, maybe we'll have you again in the future, because this whole Muslim physiology sounds very interesting.
Yes.
And all good things come to an end. So inshallah, join us same time, same place next week with Brother Gabriel Romani. And that's it, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, he says, all on who spend in good cause. Good deeds are opportunities, sparkling bright and true, raising you in the sight of Allah and adorning Al Jannah for you. So rush